giving you a brief overview of the Lit Art Help theme number 2, Our World, for K4 and K5, and just talking you through all the books that are in that theme. So the first book I have here is a book called And Here's to You. And in this story, it looks at every creature and talks about how everybody is unique and lovable, especially you, the reader. So this read aloud reads a lot like poetry, and I think would be really good for a strategy called missing word reading. So to do this strategy, all you have to do is read most of the story, but then pause on occasion to let your listeners figure out the missing word. So I think this book is good for that strategy because there is a lot of this sentence right here in the story, except for the last word is changing. So you could read the first part of it and have members look at the pictures and get clues to decide what that last word is going to be. So like this one says, here's to the birds. After you're done reading, you could either do some sort of art project around why they are unique and lovable, or they could choose an animal and do the same. This book really focuses on nature and animals, so lots of activities you could do for that one. The next book is called Whoever You Are by Mem Fox. This is about how everybody in the world is different. People look different, they speak different languages, they have different customs and traditions, but how we're all the same on the inside, and it promotes acceptance and figuring out people's differences, recognizing similarities, and encouraging rejoicing in both. So in this story, on the inside, there are frames on every page, and inside are pictures of different people around the world. So I think a really fun activity for this would be to have your members in your group make a frame of their own, talking about who they are, and then you can share it as a group, talk about similarities and differences, and find some commonalities in the people that you are working with. The next book is called On Earth. This book talks about Earth's rotation and revolution around the sun. So it talks about why we have different seasons, why we see night and day, why we have different years, and it just kind of explains it in a way that's understandable for the age group that it's with. Because there is so much information in this story, I think something that you could do with this book after you're finished reading is something called running questions. Running questions is a way to discuss the book without just sort of sitting there and talking about it. So it brings like a physical aspect to it, and actually has members race to answer questions and tell what they learned about the book. So that could be a good way to talk about all the things that they learned from On Earth without just sitting and just having a discussion like you normally would. There's lots of different artistic projects that you could do with this too. You could make something about activities and how they're different from day to night. You could talk about the seasons. You can talk about what Earth looks like from space. Lots of different things that you could do with this book. The next one is called All the Water in the World. This sort of briefly touches on the water cycle, but it mostly is just sort of done in like a lyrical way, sort of poetic instead of like very informational. So something that the kids would probably really enjoy. I think listeners could act out a lot of the stories you read because there's a lot of descriptive words in here. And so there could be a lot of hand motions that you could introduce, like for the word flows or fills or wobbles. And so that could get them involved in the reading. As far as projects when you're finished, the cover really made me think of watercolors, so you could make some watercolor design pictures about the water cycle, or just about water in general. I think that would be super easy. And the last book is a book called My Five Senses, and obviously talks about the five senses that we have and how we use them to sort of see the world. It's a very simple and engaging text and has lots of colorful artwork to show readers how to use their five senses to do different things in the world. Again, I think this one could be a really good book to do the missing word reading. So I can see with my, and they would fill in that answer. At the beginning of this book, there is a little chart that I thought could be a really fun activity that you could do with kids after. So you could make something similar like this and take sort of like a scavenger hunt around the room that you're in, around your club, outside if the weather is nice, and then draw pictures of all the things you see, hear, taste, if possible, smell and touch. So that would be a really easy activity to do with that. That's all of the books that are in this theme. It's called Our World, again, for K4 and K5 in the Help Lit Art. I also just want to remind you that your Marvin program managers are here to help you. If you have questions about the material or the strategies, or you feel like it would be helpful for us to come model the lesson for you so you can kind of see how it should be going, please reach out to us. We're here to help. Let us know how we can do that.